Helene is coming. It's definitely going to be a ride.
This is Brandon, I'm Sarah, and of course, our beloved Aiko. Frustrated by the ever-increasing cost of living, we sold everything, went out on a limb, and left our traditional life on land behind. We built a new kind of dream together, and have been living full-time in our homemade slice of paradise ever since. We are always learning new ways to navigate this unique life off the grid and on the water, so grab a drink and join us for the ever-evolving adventure that is keeping afloat.
Oh yeah, little toe mush action. Good for ya.
Party foul. It's not cute to let balloons go. Littering is not the coolest way to celebrate. Just saying.
An old school wedge. It's metal. See how it's rusted?
Huh.
It's like a wedge. The ends broke off.
Lindo de esto.
There's a square nut. See the threads?
So many critter tracks.
That's a hinge. That's some kind of hinge.
Yeah.
And that is what they use to scoop waffles.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Pieces of pottery, plates. Gotta be careful while you're stepping up in here. Historical site.
That would be the last time for the next week at least that we'd be able to go outside without getting soaked. The rain came the following day, and once it arrived, it was here to stay. A day passed, then 2, then 3, and somehow the skies kept getting darker and the clouds kept getting fuller. But when it comes to dealing with excessive rainfall and flooding, thankfully, we're ahead of the game living on a floating house. There's not much to do but let out our mooring lines every now and again to account for lake levels rising, and sit back and enjoy the cozy sights and sounds. At least, for now.
Look at him over there, rain or shine, adjusting the winches on people's house.
Hello,
What is
Bear.
it? Is that your daddy? Yeah.
It's gonna rain for 5 days.
Yes.
The lake's gonna come up 10, 15 feet.
Yeah?
To help us on the trash cleanup.
Oh, good.
There'll be no sleep for one of us.
Baby, when you wake up, you cut on all the lights, and it's a tiny house, and you're clanking pans. We'll both be awake.
Well, there won't be as much sleep.
You do a good job, Biggie. You're very responsible.
Thanks, baby. These pants are not waterproof like they say.
These are the times you find out the difference between waterproof and water resistant.
Well, if I know right, my significant other bought these for me. Surely she knows the difference in waterproof. See, the knees leak.
Yeah, maybe they were waterproof and they lost their waterproofing.
No, because I remember bitching about this after you bought them, and it was like 40 degrees, and well, I I got wet.
I'm just glad that you're acknowledging that you do a lot of bitching.
What are you doing?
Meanwhile, just fixing something else. Always fixing something else.
Completely inundated these streets, and these streets are now blocked off. I mean, look at.
Our pleasantly boring streak of rainy days was coming to an end. Well, at least the pleasantly boring part.
Just heard preparations in Florida underway for when Helene makes landfall.
And we'll be feeling the impacts of the storm right here in western North Carolina later this week.
It is going to be a storm some folks have not seen in their lifetime, and that has not been on record.
Specifically in North Carolina, the impacts with this storm are actually going to extend over a really large area.
Especially once we look to the west of Charlotte, the foothills, the mountains. By the time we get to Friday evening, some places may pick up, believe it or not, 20 inches of rain.
Tonight, it actually gets worse because that's where we're going to add in higher winds.
Well. Would you look at me simply not bailing out my dinghy?
That's nice. That's luxury right there to me. Helene is coming. She's on her way. We're definitely expecting high winds, heavy rains. It's definitely going to be a ride. Should be pretty interesting for you guys to see. We get a lot of questions about what it's like when it storms here. That's one of our most commonly asked questions, so buckle up.
We'll have to wait for the next. No worries, man. I got you. You good. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Everybody canceling their stuff.
Nobody wants to go out in this rain.
They don't want to rent a pontoon in this beautiful weather?
I mean, I give them half off today.
Half off. What a deal. You may or may not make it back, but you'll get half off.
Oh, yeah. The wind predictions is back. We're like 15 to 20s with 45-mile-an-hour winds, so that's good. Lake is going to jump 14 feet at least.
Wow.
Is the prediction. We'll be right under summer pool if the predictions are right, which those predictions are trash. But by the hour, I mean, it's come up a foot since this morning. It usually takes 24 hours for the water to start making the lake come up, depending on if you got green trees or, barren winter forest. The trees soak up most of it, then it comes in. So it's coming up 1/10 of a foot an hour right now.
Not bad.
Yeah, but it'll start jumping soon. And then like tomorrow, 1/10 of a foot an hour is 2.4 feet in a damn day. That's not a lot of lake rise.
For Fontana.
For Fontana,
Yeah.
But tonight it'll start bad, and then tomorrow it'll really jump 8 feet tomorrow. So
How's the Marina and the boathouses doing so far?
Marina's fine. It's a foot loose right now, so I got time to drink coffee and see how it's doing. The boathouses I don't adjust as much as the Marina, so they'll be fine. I'll probably look at them tonight. And then I'll have to get up tonight a bunch and look at this. Because if it's a bunch of wind coming in, you can't loosen the Marina a lot. But it usually always comes in at nighttime.
Right.
And then you don't get to sleep. Because you got to come over here in 50-mile-an-hour wind and let a foot off of each 1 or 2 feet and go back and come back and go back.
Because if you let too much off, then it has a bunch of slack and it'll swing back and forth and snap. Yeah.
This is the day when all the boat owners who don't pay us to take care of their boats call, and they're like, "Oh, do you mind checking after my boat?" No, I just got this whole marina, and then half these boathouses to do. Let's throw another one in there. You know, most people can't take care of one boat, and then they want you to take care of all of them. So that's how that works. So the text already started this.
Yeah.
Which at least them people are like, hey, I'll bring you some rum and some money.
A little incentive.
50-mile-an-hour winds taking care of my boathouse and staying up all night. And some people are just like, oh yeah, no big deal, just add mine to the list.
Well, we've come check out our little waterfall back here. It's filling up, but I have a feeling this is nothing in comparison to what it's about to look like.
The rain continued steadily for the rest of the day as the lake continued to rise, and Brandon made his rounds after work adjusting the handful of houseboats and floating cabins in our harbor that he'd been tasked with looking after. These winches go down to the anchors that keep each house in place, and most importantly, off the bank. Although a smaller and lighter weight structure like a house can afford to have a little more slack than a large structure like the Marina, the same principles apply. Give it too much slack, and any high winds will sling it around, increasing the likelihood of the cable snapping or the anchor dragging. But on the other hand, not enough slack, and the docks and everything on them will literally be pulled underwater until the force is so great that the entire winch stand breaks off the dock, and then you have no anchor. So yeah, the stakes are high when it comes to properly adjusting your mooring lines, but the good news is, that's all there is to do. A lot of folks ask us how we prepare for storms. And in reality, we don't. And that's not because we don't take them seriously, but on the contrary, because we take them so seriously that we don't wait for one to pop up to start preparing. Our preparation is all in the way the house is built and moored, such that it is high wind and choppy water ready at all times. So as we waited for the outer bands of Helene to do their worst that night, the only preparatory tasks left to do were to take down my ferns, put up our chairs, and loosen our mooring lines.
Most of them just having a great time. Oh my god. Well, I reckon in the morning the cut here will no longer be a land bridge. It might just be passable. Well, all there's left to do is hurry up and wait. Making us a delicious and nutritious meal, of course. Brandon's on the phone with Thelma. My mom, bless her heart, worried, sick. She's got one daughter in Florida, one daughter on a floating house, and the other one's Abby, and you just never know about Abby.
Get in there like a hair and a biscuit.
Alright, well y'all be careful and watch for the storm.
I think we'll do it.
Did we make it through the night?
Oh yeah. Man, this is like springtime stuff for us. And the lake come up 1/10 of a foot an hour all day yesterday. It started coming up 1/4 of a foot an hour now. But like we've seen this lake come up 1 foot an hour, 40 feet in 2 days. I just kind of feel like I lost sleep for nothing, but I guess it's better to be prepared than not.
Oh yeah.
Just keep a little eye on the lines, okay, here?
Okay.
It'd be that back one or that front one. These are out of the water, so just make sure. It's only gonna come up 6 feet today.
Okay.
Might have to loosen off on the back a little, but I let a bunch off yesterday. You'll be able to tell when you pull on it.
Alright.
I love you. Sun's supposed to be out by 5.
Alright. Update as promised on our little cascade. Honestly, not as bad as I thought. Truly. Definitely gushing. But really not as bad as that one time. Do you guys remember this past winter around New Year's? Insert B-roll clip here for reference. That was crazy. I think we got even less rainfall then than we have now, but I think it's helped us out that all the leaves are still on the trees and there's a lot more to absorb it this time of year than there was during the winter time. So we're fortunate in that way. So what we're looking at for today is increased flooding, which thankfully, you know, we're uniquely situated to handle, but certainly feeling for those in our nearby towns. Flooding's going to increase as the runoff continues from all this rain. And then the wind speeds are supposed to pick up this afternoon. We will certainly be prepared for that as per usual and see how it goes. Come on, Miss Bear. Good girl. That's the highest one yet. Gust of 40, averaging 35 miles per hour at the moment. All right, Helene, I see you. Not like Florida sees you, but I see you.
All right, so it is 9:27, 3:39 p.m. Our lake here, this is the lake levels that I watch. These are real-time numbers. And we're coming up almost a half a foot, 4/10 an hour. We're gonna come on up another 6-7 feet, but we've come up a little over 10 feet so far. If you could see, I know those are liquor slushies, but we're looking at the banks. We're almost back up to full pool. So this lake did what it was designed to do. It saved a bunch of water from going downstream and hopefully saved some lives.
Okay, interesting development here. Our water line is floating all of a sudden. Do you guys remember the fiasco about the water line last time we moved the house and how it got stuck on something? Like, we tried so hard to get it to do just that, to float, and we couldn't for the life of us get it to float because it was like stuck. We just left it because it wasn't actually affecting the water coming into the house. So we were like, well, okay, I guess it's just stuck, but whatever. The house blowing around right now, I think what needed to happen to dislodge that water line? What a random, like, silver lining. When does a hurricane coming in ever actually solve problems for you? That is so, like, that's hilarious. Shouldn't have said it. Shouldn't have said it. Wouldn't have jinxed myself. And we would still have water. Yeah. No water. Whatever has occurred with the water line somehow took away our water. So I don't know if that means that it snapped or that it's kinked or what. I'm going to try and follow it. Which is not super ideal to be doing on a windy day, but it's not that bad. I see it. I see the kink. There it is. Oh, thank God.
I want to get a water line. One kink.
Oh, Lord, please let that help. Let's check and see if that did the trick. Win. I love reporting back to Brandon and telling him that I fixed something, because I never fix the things. He fixes the things, so. Now, obviously, we don't want to leave it that way, so we'll go and check all along and make sure everything's good and follow it all the way out to this white ball where we pull it up. And once we're able to do that, then we'll attach some cinder blocks to this so we can sink it again. So that'll be a project for tomorrow, though. Phew! Somebody's kayak, looks like. Row. Ooh, sun! Look at that wind. Checking my work. What you doing?
Guess what? I didn't need your help.
Give me some bread so I can toast it.
Okay. I made a really good loaf of cheddar garlic sourdough yesterday, or day before yesterday. How's the Marina doing?
I loosened it right before the wind came, so it's moving a lot, but the lake's coming up almost half a foot an hour, so there's really not much I can do.
Yeah.
In another hour and a half, it'll be almost tight, so we'll just roll with it. All right, baby.
All right.
I love you.
I love you too.
Bear's over there.
I know, I'm getting her. All in all, safe to say we had a super anticlimactic experience with the impacts of Hurricane Helene, in the best way, of course. Even right here in our neck of the woods, our neighbors on land in the closest towns experienced flash flooding that caused untold amounts of property damage, evacuations in low-lying areas, swift water rescues, power outages, and so on. I can't say how blessed we felt to have the living situation that we do, but at the same time, our hearts hurt for those near and far who did not fare as well. I truly can't imagine the pain of losing your home, let alone losing friends or loved ones. Sending all our love out and prayers up for those who need it this weekend. We appreciate y'all checking in with us this week, and we already can't wait to see you back here next week. Be safe out there, guys.